5 years ago, I just came back down here, I visited the place and I saw there was the same white walls from when I left. So I just decided, you know what? Let's look at the history of this place. Let's look at the history. So some of the players who I played with, some of the players that I was a water boy for, and some of the players I came back to see play, we just said, hey, let's talk about this place. Let's tell the story. And the story is this. I mean, think about it. I mean, these guys right here, they built the walls. When you talking Dev Marbeck, Eastern Ramblers, Mike Wilson, Darryl Lindsay, Mike Wilcher, John Chesney, Kevin Minor, you know, Mike Martin, Al Chesney, so Emmanuel Allen, Robert Allen. So the bottom line, we feel like these guys at Ramblers, they built the walls, they built the place, you know. Champions are built on 1,000 invisible mornings here, you know what I mean? We just believe it, we believe it. We want to teach our kids, listen, if you can dream it, it'll come true. You know, the bottom line, we got more guys, so we just wanted to tell the kids when they come here, listen, these walls, they mean everything to us, they should mean everything to you, you know, so it's just bringing back the pride of Capitol Hill. So, I mean, we tell our kids all the time, you know, it'll never get easier, handle hard better.
Oh, our guys get it.
It'll never get easier, handle hard better.
Never get easier, handle hard better. All right.
So, kind of crazy that, you know, this young guy here, graduated in 1987, he comes back to lead the program.
Wow.
Yeah, that was me. I was just asking for somebody to help me and show me the way, and it happened, you know. But, you know, who would have ever thought 35 years I'd be coming back home? But I think it was one of the, other than my family, my son being born, this is the greatest gift I've ever been given, coming back home. So
I got to ask you, Coach, while we walk in the halls, what was the decision to bring you back home after 35 years?
35 years. Well, you know what? My grandmother's still here. 88 years old. One day I was going to visit my grandmother, and I came to the parking lot, and for no rhyme, no reason, I just remember the days of Bob Hayden, Willie Stewart, Tillerson up at Roosevelt, and I just said, you know what? I think it's time to go back on the sideline for no reason at all. And I just said, you know what? If I go back, I'm gonna go back home where it all started for me. And I just started figuring out what would happen with the program if I could lead it, and here I am.
I got to ask you, Coach, while I have you, what have you been doing in between that 35 years, man?
So the funny part about it is, I wasn't ready to come back to coach because at that time, my son had played for Eastern High. My son had played for Eleanor Roosevelt, Penn State, had a little run with New England Patriots. So I just was being a dad. I was being a father, and you know what? Also, prime example, Skills Academy. Prime example, where we tutor young men in life. So the carrot is football, but however, when you come into the academy, you have life skills courses. You know, how to dress, how to be a young man, how to speak to women, how to protect and respect women. All of those things are tutoring courses, SAT courses. So, but again, the carrot is football. So I've been able to be around some top quality young men as well as top athletes. So are you talking to Ron Darby's, Tavon Young's, Ken Crawley's? All these guys are PG County and DC high school football players. Ken Crawley, H.D. Woodson, my own son, Stephon Marr. So DeMarco Helms at Alabama now, Teron Vincent at Ohio State. So I've been still around the game. I've still been coaching and teaching and developing. I just haven't been on the sideline. So I just said, you know what? It's time to go back onto the sideline. And mainly because just thinking that, you know what, with young men, I just remember that, you know what, with some of the crime and some of the violence we have in the inner cities, I just thought, you know what? I respected my coach, and I didn't want to let him down. I didn't want to let my community down, and my brothers down. So I said, you know what? The way to keep the young men off the street is on the sideline. So all those reasons is what made me come back home, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
When the news came out that you were coming back and going to be the head coach here at Eastern, man, what was the alumni reaction, family reaction, just the whole community reaction?
You know what? They embraced it. So some things started leaking out, not by me. Some things started leaking out, and you know, everybody was I started getting calls, text messages, DMs, emails from guys who, if ever they was going to come back and be the head coach, I would have begged to be on their staff. So when they started saying that we think you're the guy, you're the one, you're the choice, I was like, whoa, maybe this was bigger than I thought it was going to be, and I knew. You can see us over the wall up here. The bottom line is I knew, given a chance to come back, I must protect this house. So here I am, and we will protect this house. So my goal was to come back here and not just be a successful winning team. We want to build one of the best programs in our region here, Eastern High School. I mean, why not? We're the pride of Capitol Hill.
You know, speaking on that, Coach, how nervous were you with the first game, just to get that out the way?
Okay. I went to bed that night and I was going through my mind and my notes. Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I prepare this? Did I prepare that? There was no feeling at all. I was numb and I kept saying, hey, you're supposed to feel something. You know what? No feelings. That morning I woke up, whap. I was nervous. I had to use the bathroom a couple times. I had phone calls were coming and the good luck was coming in, you know, good luck. So I just felt like, hey man, you've been prepared for it. Just go do it. You know, blue skies, green grass, brown ball is football. So there was a little nerve. Once I got to the school, nothing. We just go win a football game.
Now, this week, Coach, man, game of the week, going against Bill. What's the preparation like going into that game this week?
Well, we got to know our assignments. We got to be assignment friendly. We have to be fundamentally sound. You know what? We got to be tough. We got to play with grit. We got to play with Eastern High School, Rambler pride. And we're going to face a really good football team. I've watched this team a lot last year. They're the Gravy Bowl returning champs. So we're not the hunted, we're the prey. You know what I mean? So we're going to go out here and play smart, fast, tough, disciplined, and physical. And we're going to do our best to, you know, it's the game of the week, so we got to help give a show. So do we think we can win? Of course we do. I mean, are we trying to win? Yes, we are. Are we going to win? We got to kick the ball up to find out. I was going to give you some material, right?
All right, I got to ask, Coach, you know, with competing with the private schools and the Catholic schools to get athletes part of your program, what type of athlete are you looking for, or a young man that you're looking for that will represent being a Rambler to you?
So for us, first is character. Secondly, you know, we want to have a good, supportive family, so we got to put a good circle around that kid. The next thing for us is academics. We want scholar athletes, scholar football players. And once you get past character, good academics, now we're looking for a tough kid that can be coached hard. We're going to coach them hard, but we're going to love them. We're going to love on them even harder. So once we get on the field, that's going to be the easiest part. The tough part is going to be, you know, just taking care of your academics, your time. We're going to ask you to do a lot. It's going to be hard to play here. You know, football is hard. So you see what we said, it'll never get easy to handle hard better. They have to handle hard better. You got to be able, you got to love football. To do what we're going to ask, you can't like football. You got to love it. So you got to manage your time. It's hard. You got to stay up on social media. We're going to ask you to come in and do meetings. We're going to ask you to run. We're going to ask you to lift weights. We're going to ask you to get the system that we're trying to give you. But at the same time, it's character. We got to have character-driven young men. You got to be focused. And you know what? Just love football. And everything else will take care of itself. The field will be the easiest part.
Now, I want to go back a little bit, Coach. Also, will you also still be involved, because you're part in it with the PX Academy also as well?
Yes.
And do your players here, are they involved with the academy also as well?
So we'd love for them to come in and get some extra skill development. You know, during the off season, I'd love to have them come in. You know, we'll get their parents to come in and do a contract. You know what? But again, the best part about it is that it's not just football. They can come in, they can learn. They can get tutoring, they can get SAT prep, they can learn how to be a man. We have all kind of courses, you name it. One of the biggest classes we have is how to dress. Think about it, you know, a lot of pants to the ground, you know, a lot of shaming and bullying, so we don't want to do that. We want to teach our young men to be young men. So the biggest part, we love them to come in and participate in that part, the character-driven part of it, so that's the big part. That will be mandatory for these high school football players, the tutoring and the character-driven part, stuff like that.
Now, I got to ask, Coach, how's the support been at the games, man? Is the excitement really buzzing since you've been back around?
Yeah, you know, I try to be humble. I'm a quiet guy. We use a little bit of the buzz to, you know, get us some young men over here to get excitement about Eastern football. But I tell you what, the community, administrators, teachers, the students, coaches, this has been something that I wanted it, but I've never imagined it. And you know what? It has been overwhelming. I mean, the alumni, I've had text messages and DM messages coming from people who told me they went to school with my mother in the 60s. So they're all back, and our mantra is, it's no place like home. So come on back and support the young men. So as much support as we can get for the young men, you know what? it is. That is what moves me the most. Just the people coming back and supporting these young men from pre-game meals to post-game meals.
I saw that. Talk about that because I think one alumni or sponsored the Maggiano's dinner.
Yes, Miss Cheryl Bowling Carter, Miss Anita Chamber, Mr. Mark Roy. Let me just tell you something. Miss I don't want to leave nobody out. Miss Anderson, Miss Phyllis Anderson. Let me tell you, they have been huge for us in that department. So I just felt like, you know what, playing football in college, there's a pregame meal. And that pregame meal, you get to sit down with your brother. You can look to your left, you can look to your right. You're saying a prayer, you're sharing a meal, you're having that meal. And when you sit down and you can kind of think about things such as your dreams, your goals, your assignments, you know what, all of that is part of the game day experience. So we wanted our kids to experience that. And you know what, it was great. Our kids get a good nutritious meal, go out here and win a football game. But I tell you what, it was, I just expected, you know, sandwiches from Jersey Mike's, that'd been good enough for me. But to come in here with Maggiano's, for the coaches, for the staff, for even the team trainers, equipment managers, it was a great day.
I got to ask you, Coach, what's your expectations for this year coming in your first year?
Well, our expectations are up. You know what? There's a standard. There's a mark we put on the wall that we're not going to take down. Our expectations is, you know what? 1-0 each week. You know what? Each week we got to 1-0, but we got to prepare to do that. And how do we do that? By getting in here on time, working hard, loving your brother, taking care of your brother, trying to keep the kids healthy, trying to keep the kids academically sound, and playing a football game. The goal is to go 1-0 each week.
How you feel about the state of DCI Football right now, Coach? As far as with the teams and players right now?
It's good
because you get to see it a lot, especially through your academy with the local talent here. Do you see the skills and everything improving among the athletes in the area?
I do. Really good football, great athletes, good skill sets. You know what? Good coaches, good men who really want to help our young men develop and play good sound football here. And I'm excited. I think it's only going up from here. You know what I mean? If everybody is relevant, that good. You spread us out around the whole city: Roosevelt, Dunbar, Woodson, Eastern, Ballou, Wilson. Hope I'm not leaving nobody out. Anacostia. We can bring everybody back to prominence with great football, and I think it's on the way. But I mean, I'm excited about what's happening. I'm excited about the opportunities that we're having to play against these good football teams, these great coaches. You know what I mean? I got my work cut out for me. I'm the rookie.
You know, Coach, one of the things you said, you know, you're a leader of men. You're developing, you know, future men to lead their homes and everything, because it's not always about football, as you said, Coach. Not everyone is going to go to the NFL or even play in college, but you're developing that camaraderie in athletes to let them know that there's something out there that you can strive for and do, you know, if you just set your mind to it. Talk about that.
Well, for me, it's simple. I believe the young men know what they can be by what they see. So it starts with me. So I have to be always upbeat. I have to always be sharp, ready to go. And when you think about college, you know what? You know, life is a circle. So within that circle, everybody plays a part. You know, somebody's going to be successful. Somebody may not be as successful. Somebody will live just a marginal life. Somebody will kind of go down on it. But you know what? We got to uplift. We got to engage these young men. And that's what I'm doing every day. Listen, any challenge that you have, come talk to me. You know what I mean? At 16, 15, 14, 17, we can't handle it by ourselves. So you know what? If you got that person that you can confide in, man, look here, a coach is a mentor, he's a father, he's an uncle, he's a brother, he's a confidant, he's more than just a coach. So we got to mentor our young men, we got to take them to the next level. And you know what? My goal here, my dream here is each young man will go to a 4-year university. If not that, we'll take him to his professional career. Through football, through school.
I always ask a lot of the coaches this in all of sports. How do you manage being a coach and family life also as well, man? Because it can be hard. I would say a majority of your time will probably be among your athletes, your second family, man.
Yeah, and then when you go home, it's still film study, breakdown, you're receiving calls, you're getting emails. So you know what? It's easy for me because I come from a football family.
Okay.
A football family. Grandmama's been a part of football. My son, like I told you, is part of football. My siblings, everybody. My grandsons will love football. It's just simple. They know when I get home, I'm not tired. I'll give them a little talk about what's going on in their lives. So I'm sharing you can split your family time, but the family time comes Saturday, a little bit on Sunday, but Monday through Friday, it's football. It's Eastern High School football. But you know what? I'm not here if not for my family. My family has been very supportive in getting me back home because I told them this time last year, I want to coach football. And if I go back to coach football, I want to build a successful program. And in building a successful program, I was going to put my gloves on, my boots, and my shovel and dig. You know what? They're right here beside me.
How do you keep your young athletes away from the streets, Coach? Some coaches I've talked to, you know, they lost boxers to the streets, football players to the streets. What's one of your things that you're going to be implementing to try to keep those young men away from those elements?
You know what? That's a good question. And for me, I brought back everybody to talk to these young men, not just former athletes, not NFL athletes, but you know what? Some returning citizens. I had a classmate that went here who did 35 years in prison. He needs to come back here and tell those kids, listen, it's real trouble out in these streets. You know what? The streets are undefeated. And you know what? Fortunate or unfortunate, I've had to be able to be in criminal justice for 26 years. You know, I was down Lorton working, DC jail working, Prince William County working, DYRS. So I tell the young men I have first-hand experience what it's like behind those cement walls. And it's no life for these young men. So I talk to them.
You know, speak on that, Coach, because was it heartbreaking during that time to see basically us in there?
Yes, you know what? That's what drove me out. One day I got tired of seeing young men, African American young men, you know, thinking that prison was a badge of honor, and it's not. And you know what? You're going to see some resourceful, smart, intelligent kids behind bars. You know what? Who just had a choice, and you know that some of the choices that some of the hands of these kids get dealt. You know, it's not their fault. I mean, what you gonna do if you're hungry? What you gonna do if your family can't provide? You're gonna go out here and, you know, try and be a man. And sometimes their thought of being a man is putting, you know, a weapon in their hand. So we just gotta continue to teach. We have to continue to teach them to understand the key to unlock every lock is education.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach. I want to go back to when I was in high school as a teenager in the 80s. I was part of the Maryberry Summer Youth Program, man. And, you know, having jobs, that was important, man, because kids didn't have money and stuff. And I was getting paid just to go to class in the summertime or watch kids at a rec. Right. So how important are programs like that, like, for the kids today, man?
It's very important, but you gotta know now today they're spoiled. It's not cool to work, you know. They still have on their Jordans and their Yeezys, you know. But you know what though? Those kind of programs is paramount because it takes our kids off the streets. It gives them something else to do, and you know what? You can put a book in your hand, or in certain cases, you can be working at a camp with other younger kids. And again, they're looking at you getting up early. Think about it. You're learning how to earn as a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old young man. So you know what? You're getting up in the morning. That's a responsibility, that's accountability, and that's dependability. And with those three abilities, you can do anything you want in the world. Accountability, responsibility, dependability. And that's what it is here with these young men here in Easton.
Well, what's your thought, Coach, on as you see the city develop and change, no longer Chocolate City, you know, is that a worry, like over time, as more culture comes into the city, that the look of the schools in the city will change also as well? You
know what?
I never thought about it, but...
Me neither. So, I, for one, I remember the 70s and 80s. I'm a 52-year-old young man. I remember the 70s and 80s, and I loved the city that was mine. I loved it. Chocolate City. You know, it was a little decrepit.
Black ownership,
Black ownership. But you know what? Our city is beautiful now. And you got to be crazy now. Our city is beautiful. It's progress. Who doesn't like progress?
You right, because remember downtown back in the day was dead.
Yes. So it's progress. And you know what? Progress will provide so many more opportunities for our youth today. It'll provide so much for them to do as far as opportunities. So it's progress. We can't. And then you know what? Who says that we can't mingle? You know what I mean? That's the thing, you know. All of us, we are one. It's a whole melting pot. We all got to get along to keep this city afloat.
Coach, who are some of the people that you go to for advice and mentorship as you got back back up here at Eastern?
You know what? I go to my grandmother a lot for prayer. That's first and foremost. I got a praying grandmother. Secondly, like my brother Troy Vincent Sr., Executive Vice President, looking at operations. We just talk about structure. We talk about excellence. We talk about a standard and not lowering the standard. I talked to old Willie Stewart, a former coach here at Anacostia and Eastern. We talked about Willie Stewart. I talked to Willie Stewart, like any and everybody who's done this thing before me. Listen, I don't care. If you can tell me something, I'm gonna listen. A lot of the older guys that played here, Mike Wilcher, Gary Bellinger, all those guys, I'm talking to them to get advice. My former principal, Mr. Ralph Neal, he's a confidant. I talk to him a lot. And he's given me a lot of things just about education, teaching kids. So getting it back, going back into the school system, you gotta know more about mental health, you know, psychology of children today.
I didn't think about that. That has got to probably be one of the biggest, would you say, Coach, mental health?
Mental health and psychology of children.
Because you don't know what these kids going through.
Listen, what motivates John might not motivate Joe. So I gotta know how to be able to handle everybody and make sure that everybody is treated the same, yet I gotta treat them different. So I'm saying treated the same, yet treat them different. But there's no easy way. There's no easy way. So you know what I mean? In my day, the way the coaches coach me, guess what? That's criminal the way they coach me. So you just gotta be different. You know what I mean? And your message is, you gotta get your message across, but it's still different. Get your message across.
Coach, I truly appreciate your time today, man. Just giving your story and all the excitement that's coming around with Eastern Rambler football.
I appreciate it.
Looking forward to seeing how the year turns out for you, Coach.
Listen, you know what? One game at a time, one step at a time, one punch at a time. We're just gonna fight.
I truly appreciate your time. Trust the process. Grit, dream, love.
So the bottom line is, we feel here, you gotta be tough. You gotta have some grit about yourself. You gotta have some resolve. You gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, what's your why? Why are you playing? What's your why? So you gotta have a dream. You know what? And we gotta love each other. We are one. We gotta love each other. If I love you, if I care about you, I'm gonna do everything I can for you. Play hard for you.
Man, I truly appreciate your time, Coach.
You got it, man. Thank you so much.
Man, have a great season, man.
Go Ramblers. Pride of
Right.
Capitol Hill.
Pride of Capitol Hill, Eastern Ramblers, man. Truly appreciate my time up here today.